Chris Level here with another edition of Pirate Talk. Chip Darden to my left, Colton Coons behind the camera, taking care of us as always. Dang, probably other things I could say there, but it's a family friendly show. But man, what a wild ending at Pirate Stadium, senior night. And wildly entertaining. If you're just a neutral observer, you're like, this is the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen. But 14 total points scored in the first half, 52 scored in the fourth quarter. You guys come up just a bit short, but tale of completely two games in the two halves. Like, did you envision anything like that?
No, I don't think, we don't feel like we're designed to play in the 40s. That's not ideally what we want to do, but we knew they were a really good team that was backs against the wall and that it would be a good game like that. Ultimately, and I think that's what's been good about this group is we have, it 100% starts with me. If you go, I think you could look at every series of the game, offense, defense, special teams, and you can nitpick and find, okay, this player didn't make this play all the way through. Like, it boils down to me. We've got to coach our kids better. We've got to make sure that we're not making some of the huge mistakes that we made on Friday that cost us, and that boils down to me. So. I take complete blame on the loss, and we got to put our kids in a better position, and I think we will. I think we learned from it, and I learned from it. But our kids kept fighting. That was the thing. I thought, and I said it after the game, that I thought Memorial went out and won the game. I didn't think our kids lost it. I didn't think it was anything like that. But our kids kept fighting, and we're tired. We didn't play complementary football very well as far as first half defense is playing great, and offense couldn't really get it figured out. And then we get to the third quarter, we complimented each other okay. And then in the fourth quarter, offense was playing well and defense wasn't. And, a whole lot you can look at, but you can go back to that first half where the defense was on the field for 42 snaps. Now you get to the last drive or at the end of the game, those 42 snaps in the first half, that's where it comes back to haunt you a little bit. So I think you can do that all the way through. I think you can look at a whole bunch of stuff, and we've just got to be better. But it was a great high school football game. Our guys were disappointed in the loss. They're disappointed, for our fans. We had a great crowd there. Hope they'll keep showing up and know that we're going to get better. And but everything's still out in front of us, and that's kind of the approach our team has taken. And I think we've had a good week in preparation, and nothing you can do but move forward. No use in crying and pouting about it. We move forward.
How hard is it on you? Like, do you, at some level? Because I need a little time after you're a team that you're working with or invested with or whatever. Do you get up on Saturday and go and just replay it a gazillion times, or are you able to get up and the sun's up and like, okay, I owe it to these kids? How does Chip Darden handle that?
Yeah, in those situations,
does Stacey have to play counselor with you?
No, they're still asleep when I'm leaving on Saturday, but. No, the process for the most part stays the same. We're going to get up and as coaches watch film on Saturday morning, watch the previous night, and you get kind of mad about this or that and mad about decisions that I myself made and how we could have, a huge one is we wasted 3 timeouts in the second half that were all avoidable timeouts. One, I'm arguing with an official and we don't get to play in on time. Those are inexcusable, and it sure would have been nice to have a couple timeouts on that last drive to reset. And it's things like that as you're watching the film, you get mad about and you take notes about, okay, we've got to improve here. How do we improve it in practice? How do we do things to make sure it doesn't happen again? But there's another big game ahead of us, and so that's the process. We start watching film on the next one, and after you grade and after you kind of realize that, but there's no sulking, because there's not one team in the state. There's not one. Abilene Wylie doesn't feel one bit sorry for us, and it's time to move on. And I don't know. All of it is a microcosm of what you've got in life. You're going to show up. Anyway, I could talk about that all day that we talk to our kids about, but bad stuff's going to happen to you in life, and it could be big bad stuff. It could be small that means a lot to you. are you going to sulk and let it ruin your life? And one of our sayings in the program is, are you having a bad day, or did you have a bad 5 minutes that you're turning into a bad day? And it's the same with this. Okay, we were on the wrong end of it, but let's make sure we don't make the same mistakes. Let's get better from it.
Life isn't fair.
That's right.
And it's not going to be. And you're right. Sports and are a great microcosm. Ryan Rodriguez, 325, 5 touchdowns. Michael Deaver had a monster night, 200-plus yards receiving. Deuce ran for nearly 100 and a touchdown. Cole Stanzione with 10 tackles and an interception. But this was senior night. Now, I wanted you to, just on a kind of as an aside, talk to me about some of your – we did this briefly, probably not enough names that we mentioned, but talk to me about some of the guys. We don't probably mention their names enough on this, but they're guys that maybe don't play a ton, but they're great culture people.
Yeah.
Like you're like this is an individual that has smiled from the day he walked in, and we are all better for him. I mean, I thought about the Michael Chandlers, who we have mentioned a bit, Spencer Hoagland, Keenan Catwinkle, I think you meant. Are there anybody else that you can think of that maybe is not getting to play a ton, but are just that went through senior night, if you will?
Yeah.
I'm putting you on the spot a little bit.
Well, and I'll leave guys out because I think we've got a locker room full of those guys, and that's what's special about this group. I think we've got a lot of them, but those three that you mentioned, absolutely, Michael, Spencer, Keenan, show up every day with the same attitude, a positive attitude, and always
and your
smiling.
team is better for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ian Alvarado, Joey Felicia are two offensive linemen, kind of in the same deal. And, that's the thing about offensive linemen is, I don't know, you can be a receiver going out there and running and catching routes in practice, and maybe you don't in a game, but those offensive linemen every day it's a beating, and it's physical every single day, and so it's tough, and those guys have been great with that, and the same with the defensive line. Guys like Alec Garza, Dennis Vasquez, we told a great story about Dennis and what his role is with the team, and he was helping Phoenix Adams, again, another one that's kind of the same deal, but needing some snaps during a game and needed somebody to hold for him. Well, Dennis isn't a holder for us, but, hey, that's what the team needed right there for Phoenix to get ready to be able to snap on a big field goal if needed, and he was over there holding for him. And, I mean, those are the kind of things I think that happen on the team that – again, we got a locker room full of them, and I know we'll cut this off, and I'll be like, man, we're missing that guy. But there's a bunch of them, and I've just been proud of them. And I think the process that you see too is guys that maybe early in the year aren't that, because it's hard. Maybe they played every snap on JV last year, starting this first year of varsity, and through 2 or 3 games they're not getting snaps, and so attitude is kind of, they're down a little bit, but then they start understanding how the process works, and you start seeing them, okay, this is how we do it, this is how I can really help the team, and then they put themselves in a position to play a lot. And like one that I can think of on that is Darius Butler. He'll tell you he was frustrated a little bit early in the season, gets to play a little bit, and now last 2 games hadn't played a whole lot, but I think he's putting himself in a position to play this week, and his attitude's been great, and working just as hard as he always has. So it's a fun group. When you've got groups that do that, it's fun to be around them.
Speaking of, just as an aside too, Joey Felicia's family, I think, is involved with a pizza joint off of 82nd Street. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think so.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, 10 stars. I rank it 10 stars.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And there's anyway, like
anyway,
Braden Lee. I could go on and on, but we've got those guys. Creed Vasquez playing outside linebacker, and there's guys that set that standard that you hope that start that, and then but there's just a collection of them. That's what's been special about this senior class.
And I always hesitate to ask questions like that for fear that we won't include everybody, but I didn't want to not mention it with a senior night and an emotional game and all that,
Yep.
and not get a chance to mention some of those guys. So if we've left anybody out, that's my fault. I'll take the heat on that. But, okay, so you turn the page, and you got a great test coming up. The team that was in your stadium last year was a very close game last year. Abilene Wylie, pretty good this year.
Yep.
Undefeated in district. I think their only loss to Stephenville,
That's right.
which is ranked really high in the state.
I think they're number 1 in the state and big school 4A. So, yeah, they're good. And Wiley beat us on our field last year, as you mentioned. And last time we went down there 2 years ago, we won in a one possession game. And yeah, that's about all you can say. That their coaching staff has been there a long time. I think that continuity matters. You can see that within their kids, the expectations that they have, and if they lose, 30 seniors, it's a reload type deal. They've got. I'm always interested. I think I've mentioned it on here before, but always interested in when coaches, when they run a program, they want their middle schools to be good. They want their freshmen A and B team and their JV to be good, and that's what they've got. You see that they're trying to build a program, and not trying. They have a program built, and it's really good. I mean, they played for a state championship in 16 maybe. I mean, within the last 10 years, they've played for a state championship. So just one of the best programs in the state of Texas, and they're really good this year. And we're really one of the favorites to win, probably the favorite to win the district, I think, by most publications coming into the year. And so a good challenge for our guys. And this time of year, that's who you're going to be playing, good football teams.
And when you get to November, and if you were to get it done Friday night, or when you get it done Friday night, I'll just say, everybody forgets about that last one, don't they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's just kind of how it works.
Yeah, and that's what, we've talked to the guys. There's a lot to happen. I mean, Memorial has 2 games. Wylie has us, and then one more game. So
because you're off next week.
We'll
talk about that in a second.
If we happen to get the job done, there's still a lot in play. But by my math, I think we lock in a home playoff game and a share of the district championship. It's very meaningful, and there's a lot on the line.
And how much continuity from last year's team with Wylie? I mean, this is the same quarterback, I think the same running back, the same receiver that you've seen for several years. Yep. Defensively, a lot of the same personnel.
Yeah, probably. I think we counted 5 or 6 starters back, and but same deal. They've been switched defensive coordinators, I believe, last year. I think the coordinator from the year before got the job at Midland Greenwood, and so it's a little bit different, but overall, Coach Martin was their defensive coordinator. The head coach was the DC. So I think you can see his influence, and so there is continuity. Whether it's a different alignment and a few tweaks, they're similar. And to me, it's a bunch of kids that play really hard. That they get to the football, and both sides. I think offense is about the same, 6 or so starters returning, and they do a good job. I think we do for the most part. I know I mentioned last game we didn't complement each other real well. It was mainly with how we were playing, not necessarily the schemes. But they do that. Their schemes, I think, complement each other. They're going to take some chances. They're not afraid to take a shot down the field. They're not afraid if they find a one-on-one matchup they like, they're going to take a shot. And then they're not afraid to put pressure on you on defense and kind of try to create big plays and turnovers. That's what they did to us last year. Created turnovers for scores, and that's how they end up winning the game. So we know that's coming, and I just think our guys are going to play well. They want to play well. They didn't like how that one ended, and there's no offense to Wylie. They are maybe the best team we've played all year, but I don't think it really matters who we're playing right now, that the focus is about us correcting mistakes that we made from Friday.
Yeah, and you start to look at it, you just don't know how many more opportunities you're going to have to suit up and play with your teammates and all those things. Bye week is next week. Weird time for bye. You're the one that got the draw to have the bye week at the very end. I don't know if that's ideal. Probably not. But how will you treat it?
Yeah, because
it doesn't matter win or lose. You are in the playoffs.
Yep.
So there is more football to play after this one. But you probably need to heal up and take a few days.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is the mental break too. Coaches and players, like there just needs to be that week of no stress. It's always. And I asked Coach Martin, Wiley's was their open week this past week, and I just kind of asked him this weekend what they did, just because I'm curious how we do it and if it's the right way. And but for us, the main goal is be healthy, get healthy, but we got to stay in shape and stay sharp. So we'll have practices. We'll do some physical practices, but it'll probably be a little bit shorter. Trying to get our stuff in and out, be quick. We'll give them Monday off. There's no school. Kids don't have school on Monday, so we'll give them that day off, just 3-day weekend. And I think more than anything, the mental side of it's going to help. And, it is. It's not ideal to be in this spot, but our goal was getting the playoffs, and then maybe we can use it to our advantage and have that week off before we really get rolling.
A lot of time to prepare.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, it's depending on when you're watching this, it's either Halloween or it's just been Halloween. So let's get to it with.
I'm not a big Halloween guy,
You know what?
but love it for my kids.
You
My
and
kids
I are
like
the
it.
same in that. I think Halloween is overrated. I'm a bit. I think it's a bit sketchy out there on the streets with some people. Kind of, I don't know, getting into
Coach Reed is a big Halloween guy. He's a big fan.
See, so one of the questions I have for you are you more of a trick or treat guy? And I think what you're saying is that Coach Reed is very much a trick guy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's not
Really, his family's just big on the Halloween. I don't know that he is, but
Okay, candy corn is a bottom tier candy. True or false?
true, absolutely.
See, this is why, because we were simpatico.
And I'm going to get my Kaysen and Blakely, my oldest two. We talked about this on one episode, and they were watching.
They were
it.
offended.
They were watching it, and
Yeah.
they were not real happy. They were real curious why.
They are young, but as they grow and mature and understand how
well,
life
it's-
works, they'll get.
Yeah, it's part of parenting. I've got to parent a little bit better there.
That's right. Okay, this is an Almond Joy. Does it belong in the garbage can? Yes or no?
No, it's
We were doing
it's,
so good.
It's average. It's not. I'm not going to go out and buy one, but I'm going to eat this one.
Okay, that's wonderful.
I like coconut fine.
See, that's the problem. I don't. Coconut is an interesting thing for me to grasp. The consistency is very strange, and I would say to you, what does coconut taste like? And you would tell me
Coconut. I don't know.
it's just like this crunchy thing that with not going. There's just not a lot going
That's
on.
the texture. That's not the taste. The crunchy.
I don't know if it has taste. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, well, Chip is 1 for 2. Okay, if you are going to a costume party tonight, you are dressed as
The coach. I play one on TV.
Have you ever been to a costume party?
Oh
Like
man,
even the misses don't get it. Have never been
Maybe.
invited to a costume party, or like you got to dress up.
I dressed up the other day. We went to the trunk or treat at the high school.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good.
And you dressed up as what?
Bowser.
Yes.
All Mario characters, and so I was Bowser.
Well played. Yeah. See.
For a little bit, I did it for a picture, and then that was about it.
Okay, then you're like, okay, I'm done playing, because this is like Mario Kart type stuff, right? And the Mario Brothers, yeah, okay. Isn't he like the big dinosaur looking dude? Yeah,
That was
Bowser.
me.
Is there a Z in that? Never mind, I'm just kidding. Is there because you've got youngsters at your house? Is there a parent tax when they come home for trick or treating with you?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They that thing. That's the one part that's great is that
Yeah,
candy.
like they do all the work, and you
Yeah.
kind of sit back and go, huh, and then, or maybe they don't even know.
That's where it's
Yeah,
at.
maybe they don't even know. Were you ever one as a youngster growing up in Shallow Water, Texas, that maybe you ever went around with your buddies trick or treating and didn't wear a costume?
Oh, no.
You see these individuals a
Yeah,
lot.
no.
Like,
That's
I'm just these are my
unacceptable.
friends. I just hear and here's my bag too.
No,
right? Okay,
no,
so you
never did that. Yep.
Okay.
And I may be taking a question, but my parents make fun of me because every year there'd be talk of what I'm going to be and do this, do that. And when it came down to it, I was a football player every year. Every year I was a football player. Yep.
As that football player, walked up, hold your bag out. How would you react? How would you react if somebody dropped fruit or dental products in your bag?
I don't think I would have been really very happy, but
You would have said just thank you, or you'd have been
Absolutely.
like, seriously? Like,
no, I would have been a thank you, but I'd get to if we were
Get
walking
to the
or
street.
sometimes we would drive like we'd do our little neighborhood, and then we'd drive to another one. So I'd get back to the car, and I think I'd be like,
not going to that house
yeah,
anymore.
Mark
Yeah.
them off the list, Mom.
Are you a pumpkin spice flavored anything guy? Yes or no?
No,
Okay. See, yeah, we're like there.
no, not at all.
Last one. When you are this football player, when you got this fill in the blank on Halloween, like you were like, okay, I want to come back. I've won.
I think no matter the candy, it's a full size.
Full size candy
Like
bar.
if you got a full size, it's like, oh man, what? what do these people do? Like they must be millionaires.
Yes. That's well done. Okay, there you go. And they're probably not. They just maybe went to Costco or Sam's or one of the big box stores and whatever. Okay. Well, that's good stuff. Happy Halloween to all those out there that may be watching this today, or hopefully you had a happy Halloween, depending on when you are consuming this content. But again, 7 o'clock, Hugh Sandifer Stadium. I believe Abilene Wylie will have the stream. We will put that link out when we get it. But 100.7 The Score with the radio coverage, and there's an app for that station as well that you can listen to it on your phone and all that stuff on Friday night. But a lot on the line for the Pirates. Chip Darden's group will come out a-swinging. So appreciate everybody that's been a part of this one. For Chip Darden, for Chris Lovell, for Colton Coons, this has been another edition of Pirate Talk.